G'day guys, Will here. So it is just about to tick over to week 13 of season 4 of iRacing for 2019. So as I'm sure most of you who have been doing iRacing for a while now will be aware of, week 13 tends to be absolute chaos. And the reason for that is we're doing a lot of different tracks. It doesn't count towards the championship for most of the rounds. And yeah, people tend to use it as an opportunity to try different cars, try different tracks. And therefore there's a lot of people driving a lot of cars they're not familiar with, crashing more often than usual, and generally speaking it just ends up being a massive clusterfuck. So anyway, what we're going to do today is show you how you can actually use this as an opportunity to boost your safety rating going into the next season. So this is something that I did in last season's week 13, and I don't claim to be the world's expert here, so if I do say anything that you know is incorrect, please let me know in the comments. I'll pin any comments that are major corrections to anything that I've said here, but this is basically just going to be sharing what I did in last season's week 13 to boost my safety rating and actually rank up to the next license. Okay, so there's a couple of things here that we need to understand, a couple of fundamentals that will make everything else kind of make sense here. So the first one is MPR, or mandatory participation races. So any race that you see that has this MPR bar next to it here means that it counts towards your safety rating and iRating. So it may not contribute to your mandatory participation races, but if you do see this logo here, it could be green if it does count towards your MPR, red if it doesn't count towards your MPR. But during week 13, any race that you see that has an MPR logo in this position here counts towards safety rating and iRating. So say you were to choose a race series like the Dallara Dash, for example. Let's choose that. Click on that and you can see now when it loads, the MPR bar is completely missing. So what that means is that this doesn't count towards your safety rating or your iRating. So if you don't see a red or green MPR bar, that means it's an unofficial race. If you see the MPR red or green, it means that it is an official race and will count towards your SR and iRating. So making sure that we've selected something that does count towards our MPR, so Porsche iRacing Cup, for example. Now we have our MPR bar back here. So you can see I currently have a B grade license here and my safety rating is 4.35. So the reason why I haven't jumped up to an A class license here, even though I'm over a safety rating of 4, is because I haven't completed the mandatory participation races yet. So what you need to do to understand that is you click on account and click on my profile. And then scroll down to the bottom here and you'll see under the various different license classes here, class B for road. So I need 4 more races or 4 more time trials in my license class or above to rank up to the next license. So we need our SR above 3, as well as those mandatory participation races. So to achieve those prerequisites, what we need to do is make sure we're participating in races that have a green MPR bar here. Now, MPR races in the higher classes can be a little bit difficult to come across in week 13. I actually struggled to find one at all last season. So generally speaking, you want to try and complete those mandatory participation races before week 13, just so that when you do raise your safety rating, you'll bump up to the next license straight away. So the way it works here is you saw down the bottom, it says we need our SR above 3. So if your SR is above 3, it means at the end of week 13, your license will automatically go up. I think that's right. It might be the start of week 13, but you guys can let me know in the comments. But yeah, as long as your SR or your safety rating is above 3, you will be promoted to the next license as long as you have those mandatory participation races under your belt. Now, if you have a safety rating or 4 of above, that means it's an instant promotion as long as you've completed those MPR races. So basically, if I was to go in now and complete all those MPR races, I would instantly be promoted to an A class license. The reason why I haven't done that is simply because I can't afford to spend the money to purchase all the content that I need to actually class up right now. So how do we give our safety rating a quick, easy boost during week 13? So the Mazda Cup races in particular tend to be really short. They're only about 10 minutes long during week 13, typically speaking, and they generally are official races as well. Now, I don't know for sure that that's going to be the case this time, but basically what you want to do is you want to find the shortest official race possible. Now, you can qualify, but what you want to do is make sure that you start from the pit lane or the back of the grid. So the way you do that is you wait for the countdown timer to go on the grid to reach 0. So unfortunately, that means that the people that are on the grid are going to be waiting for you to reach that countdown timer, but you let that count down all the way. When it reaches 0, you'll then see on the screen a missed start button. So you click on missed start and that will have you start the race from the pit lane. So from there, you basically just want to drive around and try your absolute best to get no incident points whatsoever. So don't race other cars wait for other people to crash out in front of you. Just drive around them. Don't go off the track. Don't push your limits. Just drive well within your own limits and try your absolute best to get 0 incident points. What you'll find is that your safety rating gets a massive boost, and because the races are only short during week 13, particularly for the Mazda Cup races, it means you can just do race after race after race after race. Now, doing that, I was actually able to go from, I think it was 0.8 on my license all the way up to over 4 on the current license that I had last season, all within the space of a couple of hours in the Mazda Cup. So yeah, you just want to make sure you're staying away from other cars, avoid incidents at absolutely all costs, and you'll see your safety rating skyrocket. Now, one thing that you do just want to be aware of is that your I rating can take a little bit of a hit starting from the pit lane. If you are starting at the back of the grid and not gaining positions throughout the race, you will find that your I rating will drop slightly. So you don't want to be driving too slowly. You want to make sure that you are gaining some positions. But the good thing about week 13 is that a lot of the field are going to end up crashing out anyway, just from the general chaos that takes place. So as long as you're sensible, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. So the last thing that you need to be aware of is that you likely won't be able to rank up more than 1 license during week 13. That's simply because you'll struggle to find the mandatory participation races that you need to complete to actually get to the next license before the end of week 13, because there aren't too many that do actually contribute, and you'll find that a lot of those are actually below your license class. So if you've got a red bar, it means that even though it is an official race, it's not going to count towards the MPR that you need for your specific license, because that event is below your license class. So what I found last season is that I wasn't actually able to go up past Class C, even though I was able to boost my safety rating. But what it did mean is that as soon as I was able to start doing those MPR races again at the start of the next season, I was able to rank up very quickly. And to give you an example, at the start of this season, I actually went from a Class D license to a Class B license with over 4 safety rating in the space of a day and a half. So hopefully this helps you guys out. If I have made any mistakes here, guys, please do let me know in the comments. I'll make sure I pin anything there. I'm not claiming to be the world's expert here. I'm just sharing what I did last season, and hopefully it will help some of you guys out. So that is it, guys. That is how I boosted my safety rating during week 13 last season. So hopefully this helps you guys out. And yeah, happy week 13. Enjoy testing out some new cars, some new content. But yeah, just be mindful of the fact that there are still some official races there, and you don't want to come back finding that your safety rating and I rating have taken an absolute nosedive. So hopefully you guys have found the video useful. If you have, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss the next video. And yeah, happy week 13, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye.